it's
Hi.
Leslie and Tanya, and it's my birthday.
And
so
it's her birthday.
Birthday hat. You won't know my age, though.
No, it's 21. It'll be 21 forever.
21 forever from now on.
Yep.
Anyway, we are about to start our podcast. We haven't started it yet, but we thought we'd get on here, and we're going to talk a little... We're going to talk about triggers, but in a very subtle way this time. We're going to talk more about culture shock, and we're going to talk about cultures, different cultures, collectivistic versus individualistic, and what it looks like when we talk about mental health. Now, we've done this before. We've talked about this before, but we feel it's super important when it comes to just keeping on the psychoeducation about different cultures and what they think about mental health. Mm-hmm. How we view them, stuff like that. So we're going to start. So please be patient with me while I figure the technology because, it's not good. And by the way, yes, we've been doing shots and we're drinking, shots and drinking and I'm a little already a little happy. So,
yeah, we killed that bottle.
Yeah, and she brought all sorts of gluten-free stuff for me because I'm gluten-free, so thank you.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Awesome. Gluten-free desserts, which is very hard to come by, and it was so good. Anyway, okay, let's go. Let's start this thing. Okay, hold on, I gotta find my music because I always lose it, so, and trust, I have deleted it and recorded us talking before it's
so funny.
So, yeah, so bad. Here we go. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Leslie and Tanya, and we are tipsy and happy.
And full, so full.
Yeah, we... Yes, it was very nice. It's my birthday today, so Tanya surprised me quite a bit and brought friends over. Well, I consider family, and then my family, and we had a huge spaghetti dinner, and then Tanya brought over all this gluten-free sweets, and oh my God. I can't even breathe.
Right. We've been taking shots in between.
Yes, taking shots
obviously.
And drinking. And so today it is, what is this?
Passion fruit.
Passion exotic blend of the tropics, Ciroc. I guess you can't really see it. But anyhow, it's like, I don't know, this camera isn't so good.
No.
Sorry about that. Can you even see the green cups?
Because usually isn't the green, you can't see the green, but you can't see it on here.
I don't know. I keep disappearing. Anyway.
Today is your day to disappear. I'm usually half in, half out.
Darn it. Anyway, so here we are. Things keep popping up, and that's okay. Anyhow, today we are going to talk about, is this our 12th podcast? I'm having an ADHD moment. Is this our 12th?
I think it is.
It is our 12th?
It is a 12th.
Wow, yay!
I think it is.
There. We wanted to hear from you. We wanted to hear if you had any questions or anything like that, but I don't think did we get any?
I didn't get anything.
Okay. We didn't get any questions this time. Please, if you have questions, please send them to us. You can email us at MindScapes717@gmail.com. You can go on TikTok. You can go on Spotify. You can look us up on Buzzsprout. Whatever you want, along with YouTube.
Yeah.
Send us your questions because we want to answer them live. Or however we can. And we want to help however we can. Yeah. So whether you just want resources or whether you have a question for us to pose here with this kind of forum, we will do so. And today, for the past month, we've been talking about Suicide Awareness Month. And in some social media, you're not allowed to say suicide. But I think it's super important that we do because we need that psychoeducation about it so that we can talk about it. I think that really it's a Western type of taboo subject, but we definitely should talk about it.
Yeah, I know it's very scary. And this is a conversation that I have with a lot of my own clients of, yeah, it's a fucking scary thing to think about because it can become such a permanent result. And it's just scary to think that someone is going through so much that that's the only way out. Um, but we can't be scared of this topic. And I think so many people are just so scared of it because there's this whole weird idea that if we mention it, then it's going to happen. No, no, no. No, no, no. People that want to do it will do it. It's just what they do. This is how they, right? And this is why we talk about intention and plan when we talk about in therapy. Like, you're allowed to say, want to come in and say, I wish I wouldn't have woken up this morning. That's a very human condition. Now you come in, say, I have this, that I'm going to do this and this, then we're going to have a different conversation because that's all about safety. But it's so important just to have it as a topic, period. And I think we need to get over this word and get over it because as a society, we just need to say the words to better support people in those moments because people are scared to share because then there's, oh, they're selfish. Oh, they're this. Oh, they're that. And I know, and we were just talking about something I sent her about suicidality and like the myths and the pros and the cons and the facts. And there's just so much with it that I think it's so easy for us to get wrapped up in the details, but we just have to talk about it. I know it's scary and it's so hard for people, and I understand that. Like this, I wish I never got up. I think we've all been through it. I think this is a thought that we've been through some real shit and we think about it. But the intention and plan and then doing something like that, I think if we just talk more about it, which is just going to be a segue into what we're going to talk about today, because very much culturally, we don't even talk about it.
Right.
We don't talk about it.
And we should. I mean, we should be able to go to our friends or somebody that we're close to and say, I'm fucked up, man.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just totally fucked
Absolutely.
up. I'm fucked. And I need help. So, but we can't do that because we get uncomfortable in this society, Western, well, in all.
I think all of them.
Every single society, I think.
Yeah.
You know, because if it's not this society, if we're talking about Eastern society or societies, people think there's demons or they think there's evilness or they think there's something going on, and it's actually 10 times worse. But talk to somebody, find somebody you trust. You know, talk to them.
And if you can't find someone you trust, literally come find a therapist. Like,
or
these are the times.
We'll send you to the right people.
And these are the times that you gotta say something. Like, and I know it's this idea that if you talk about it, it's going to happen. Or if you say the word, no, none of that shit is real. All of it, you just already have this idea. And we can only be like, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out together so we can talk about how can I better support you? Because sometimes support looks very different for people. And people just literally want to be heard. You just want to be heard and know that, yeah, that's fucked up. Because I tell my clients, I'm not here to solve your problems or erase the past. We're here to talk about it so we can heal it. Because then we become victims to our past. And we become victims to those people that abused us. People that, we still have in our life and we don't know what to do. And that's fine. But if we talk about it, then you can get the information, the education, and then move on.
And you take the power back.
Absolutely.
You take the power back. And that's really important. Now, the last time, I think, was it last time or 2 times before, I talked about different types of suicidality. I talked about fatalistic and I talked about altruistic. And there's others. And basically, some of these others have to do with a lack of socialization or integration into whatever society you are in.
Right.
And because that lack of it and the isolation, it's 10 times worse. Right. And at that point, really, you gotta find somebody. And it could go against everything that you have learned in life. But if you are truly wanting to stop a cycle or truly wanting to take your power back, find somebody, reach out. We will help whatever we can.
Yeah.
Find people for you or find the resources for you.
And it is about wanting. And I know I say this and I always disclaim, like, you have to want this. And I've said this a lot to clients because you can come to therapy, talk to anyone, but if you're sitting there and talking about it, but then you go back to the same behaviors and you really aren't really trying to understand what's going on, you have to want to try to understand. Because there's only so much that can happen if you're not willing and able to just take in the information because we're living the life of the definition of insanity. You can't go back to the same shit over and over and expect something different to happen if we're not putting in the differences or the changes to make it happen. And I know this sounds a little bit unfair sometimes because I have people look at me funny in therapy and I'm like, I can't sit here. I could give you everything that I have, but it's not going to stop you from thinking what you think and doing what you want to do. And if that's to cause yourself harm, if that is to keep this cycle of anxiety, and I have always posted, I have very terrible anxiety, internal anxiety that for me, I'm very good at not externally showing it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. But this is, you have to want to do it. I literally have to talk myself out of ledges of my head on a daily basis. It is so fucking hard. Mm-hmm. And when I say want, I know it does not, people don't like it. And I am sorry for that. But I'm not sorry for saying it because I know how hard it is to want to try something. And if you don't do it, then what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, we have to make the difference. And it starts with us. And I've told my people this, and they know. They hate it, but I say it. If you don't want this, the moment that you want the change to happen, you will do it. We all know what we want. We just have to do it.
Yeah. And it's hard for a lot of people to actually find that switch in yourself.
Yep.
To take back that control. Because sometimes some of us never had the control to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
But you can take control back. You can take your life back.
Yes.
And there's testaments all over the world as to people who turn that switch on saying, yes, I want this. So please consider it. And it's funny, we were, this big birthday dinner, one of our guests is half Nepalese. And he was talking about the differences between mental health in the Western world, compared to the Eastern world, collectivistic versus individualistic societies, where there it's like you don't even talk about it. It's a very uncomfortable subject. Anything to do with mental health is a very uncomfortable subject. And here, people diagnose themselves. They're like, oh, I'm ADHD. Even if they weren't diagnosed that, they'll say it, they can self-diagnose all they want, and it has become, since pop psychology and Freud made, all sorts of different diagnoses, such a household thing here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Diagnoses is easy to talk to, not as much as doing something about the diagnoses,
right?
But feeling like it's okay to talk about a diagnosis even without the work that is involved in helping yourself move forward. But in other places around the world, you can't even talk about anything, nothing. Mm-hmm. And then we talked about culture shock. And I was saying, I always get culture shock when I come back to the United States. Every single time. Like, I'll land at the airport. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much land here. There's so much free land here. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it's the truth. I mean, and I'm just so shocked about everything for a couple weeks after I get back. Whereas some people get culture shock when they arrive. The reason I'm talking about this is because culture shock is actually a trigger for some people. And so we thought we'd just kind of talk about it. Have you ever gotten culture shock?
I feel like I get it all the time. And that's funny because I feel like every different experience I have with different people. Because again, obviously I'm Latina and I'm always wear it on my shirts and I wear it on my face but I think I get culture shock a lot. And I guess I don't realize what I don't know until I don't know it, because other people will talk about stuff and I'm like, I've never in my life heard this. I don't even know what that word is. And I don't know if that's because we grew up Americanized, but in a very Spanish speaking household. Because there's still words now that I can tell you in Spanish, I can't tell you in English, or vice versa. But it's so interesting because I've always had an affinity for, like, Black people. Me and Black people I've always had a Black best friend growing up my whole life. But even hearing them sometimes talk about things, and then, you know, white friends, Asian friends, brown like, where I've always had a different mix of friends, and it's just weird to hear conversations, because I'm like, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? I don't even know half of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, shit. Okay, well, none of these things I ever heard of. I think I live in culture shock probably, like, a lot more than I realize sometimes. And I want to say it's almost like daily basis. People will talk about stuff, and I'm like, I've never heard of that before.
That's so funny. Paul, my brother, was talking about how he gets culture shock just going to a different county sometimes. And then we had another guest, Jamie, who was saying, oh yeah, you know, the culture between Northern and Southern Virginia even is there's a huge difference.
Such a huge difference.
You know, so it's like...
so different, everything.
We can have culture shock here in the United States just as much as if we went to a different place, and it doesn't really matter. We can have it within ourselves, and we can have it without... or outside of ourselves. Sorry,
but this is why culture, like, when people are like, well, I don't see differences. Fuck that, because we are all different. Every house.
I hate it when somebody says
yes,
that.
every house is a culture. Yeah. And then you have the bigger cultures that we kind of come from. Like, I don't speak for all Salvadorians, let alone for all Latinos, Hispanic, Latinx, wherever you fall.
And I certainly don't speak for all white people.
Right? Like, but
certainly not.
But a lot of the things, right? I mean, there's Salvadorian families that they say shit. I'm like, I never had that before. Or anybody else. I'm like, oh, we didn't grow up doing that. Because we were right in the middle of both. We had very traditional food and traditional parents, but there's some things that we did in our household that was just particular to us. And I feel like I have it all the time. Because I was literally thinking about this not too long ago. I forgot. I was talking to someone and they were saying things and I'm like, the fuck is that? Like, what is... I don't even know what you're telling me right now. I was like blown. I was like, I know. That's not something we do in my house. So it was just weird. I know. It's weird. It's so weird. Because you don't know what you don't know until it comes up to you and you're like, oh shit, nope, I never even thought of it. Something as simple as like a dash cam in your car. I don't know why that has lived in my head rent-free for weeks. And I was like, what?
Yeah, she was like, wait a minute. There's dash cams in cars that
people just normal people just buy dash cams.
Yeah.
I've never.
Because there's so many accidents in this area that people are like, you gotta do
Someone
it
felt so passionate and they're like, we all have it. I was like, who are these people with dash cams? I've never in my life. And this comes from a person who, their dad is a mechanic. I've never in my life. I've never seen one in the car. And I got into this person's car and I was like, oh shit, I've never seen this. I swear, this has been weeks and I still think about it. I'm like, I don't even know what this means to me. But
some of these shocks can have some negative effects. And that's why we brought this up, right? Because sometimes it is so shocking to us that we feel like it kind of goes against our cultural concepts. And so we thought it was really important to just kind of mention it and just to be self-aware. Again, that we keep bringing up self-awareness. And
it's so important.
And the thing is, it's not as easy as we say it is. Self-awareness is not easy to do. It takes a lot of hard work and really, like...
so much.
It can exhaust you because it is... You're constantly having to be aware of yourself in situations, how you're feeling, what you're thinking.
And then you have to talk yourself out of that.
What you believe, what you think may be right or wrong. You know, your moral compass, you know, all these things are rolled into all, you know, your brain has the capacity to just kind of roll it all together, you know, really fast to make a snap judgment. But we have to step back from those snap judgments because that can be the trigger.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So... no, but the self-awareness, I mean, I tell my clients all the time, they're like, well, I didn't think of that. I'm like, well, duh. Because first of all, why would I even be talking to you if you can think of all of these things? But first of all, I'm not emotionally tied. This is why you speak to someone that's not emotionally tied to you. Because even my therapist be telling me shit about myself all the time. And I'm like, fine, Christina. Fuck it. I know. I'm wrong. It's not that easy. I always tell my clients, I can tell you things and I know what I'm saying to you, but it doesn't mean that you can just get it out of your head and be like, oh, well, duh, I could think of this. No, it takes, I have people with me that we've marked a year and now they understand things a lot smoother, but they still need some facial expressions to guide them because sometimes they be trying me and we have try again. And they're like, yeah, I know. Well, what do you know? And then we talk about it. Self-awareness is so hard, but it's such a key thing to have.
Yes. So I think that's the end of podcast 12 for MindScapes717. But we hope you come back next time with questions ready for us. And we hope to see you soon. And bring your drink because we can drink on. And if you don't drink, bring a mock drink. It's okay.
Just bring water, man.
No judgment.
Anything. Yeah.
No judgment. So anyhow, we shall see you soon. Hang on for those of you who are watching our YouTube while I close out this podcast, again, being technologically challenged. So here we go. You gotta love this music. There we go.
Did it.
I hope I did it. You never. I just don't know anymore.
Something got recorded, so
yeah, something was recorded. Let's hope. Oh yeah, big drink. Cheers. We're gonna end this very soon, but right now we just need a drink. Anyone's birthday this month? Happy birthday! Anyone needed resources? Contact us, MindScapes717@gmail.com. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and we have a Facebook group called MindScapes717. Come find us. Bye.